Good morning, students. Welcome back to your English class. Today, we will do the third chapter, Pronouns, from Cornerstone. What is a pronoun? A pronoun is the word that is used instead of a noun. Read these sentences. Jaydeep is a very hardworking boy. He is good at studies as well as in sports. His brothers admire him. Both of them would like to follow in his footsteps. Here, the words he and him take the place of Jaydeep, while them is used instead of his brothers. The noun which is replaced by a pronoun is known as its antecedent. Pronouns agree with their antecedents in gender, number, and person. Pronouns are of different kinds. Let us revise what you have learned. Personal pronouns, interrogative pronouns, distributive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, relative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, emphasizing pronouns are different kinds of pronouns. The pronouns I, me, she, her, he, him, you, we, us, it, they, and them come in the place of people, animals, or things. So they are called personal pronouns. For example, these boys are lazy. Their teacher has given them a lot of homework, but they are not interested in completing it. In this sentence, the pronoun it replaces the noun homework, while these boys is the antecedent for the pronouns they and them. Note that we use they when the pronoun is the subject of the verb, and them when it acts as the object. The pronouns mine, ours, his, hers, its, theirs, and yours are used to show possession. So they are called possessive pronouns. For example, Jayashree has a small zoo in her house. That cat is hers. Hers is the example of possessive pronoun. The possessive pronoun hers replaces the noun Jayashree. The decision is yours to make. Yours is the example of possessive pronoun. Pronouns that are used to point out the objects which they refer to are called demonstrative pronouns. For example, this is my book and those are Rajiv's pens. We use this and these to indicate objects that are nearby, while that and those are used for objects that are far away. A less commonly used demonstrative pronoun is yonder. Pronouns that help to ask questions are called interrogative pronouns. For example, whom did you call up? Which of these boxes is yours? What is the name of that girl? Whom, which, what are the examples for interrogative pronouns. When framing questions, who or whom is used for a person or a group of people. What is used only for things and which is used for a person or an object. A pronoun that indicates that the action of the subject reflects or turns back on the subject itself is called a reflexive pronoun. A pronoun that is used for the sake of emphasis is called an emphasizing pronoun. For example, I poured myself a cup of coffee. I myself am to blame for the confusion. Priya loves singing to herself. She herself does not seem too worried about her results. In the first sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronoun myself, herself receives the action of the subject I, Priya. In the second sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronoun is used for emphasis. I repeat, in the second sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronouns is used for emphasis. Example, myself and herself. Pronouns that show that people or things are taken singly or in separate groups are called distributive pronouns. They are always singular and are therefore followed by the verb is in the singular. For example, each of the boxes was opened. I haven't read either of the books. Neither of them will admit to having broken the vase. In each of the sentences, the pronouns such as each, either, neither indicates people or things individually rather than as a group. Distributive pronouns are always followed by the verb in the singular. Pronouns that do not refer to any person in particular are called indefinite pronouns. Some other indefinite pronouns are several, all, both, anyone, everyone, someone, everybody, and nobody. For example, one must preserve one's traditions. Many had proposed the idea, but few voted in its favor later. In these sentences, the pronouns one, many, few refer to nouns that are understood or implied rather than stated in particular. Remember, when using the pronoun one, you must be consistent. We cannot say one tries to help his parents. Pronouns that denote mutual action are called reciprocal pronouns. Let's read these sentences. The two sisters always try to help one another. They waved goodbye to each other as they parted. The pronouns one another and each other indicate that two or more people carry out an action and receive its effect at the same time. So that it is known as reciprocal pronouns. Relative pronoun. A pronoun that relates a noun that comes before it to a group of words that follow is called a relative pronoun. Let's read these sentences together. The book which you had suggested was very interesting. He is the boy who always completes his work on time. This is the house that was sold by my uncle. In each of these sentences, the pronoun are which, who, that. And this pronoun relates a noun, that is book, boy, house, to the underlined words that follow. A relative pronoun should always be placed close to its antecedent. We say, the boy who is in the train is my brother. We do not say, the boy is my brother who is in the train. The most frequently used relative pronouns are who, whose, whom, which, and that. Let us learn more about the uses of each. The relative pronouns who and whom are used only for people irrespective of gender or number. Look at these sentences. Students who forget to bring their hall tickets will not be allowed to sit for the test. The teacher whom you were supposed to meet was left already. Now, who is used when the relative pronoun functions as the subject, whereas whom is used when the pronoun is the object. We use whose to refer to both people and non-living things. For example, the teacher scolded the students whose results were poor. The bicycle whose lamp was missing belongs to Rathod. In the first sentence, it's an example of living beings. And the second sentence, it was example of non-living things. In both the sentence, we can see the use of relative pronoun whose. Sometimes the relative pronoun may be omitted. For example, This is the house in which my father was born. This is the house my father was born in. Did you notice that the position of the preposition has changed? So, in the second sentence, we can see the relative pronoun is omitted. Now, the use of which. We can use which for non-living things and animals. For example, the sparrows which lost their home in the storm are building a new nest. The next one, the relative pronoun that usually refers to non-living things. For example, we were the first to find the clues that would lead us to the hidden treasure. Now, let us recap the chapter. A pronoun is a word that is used instead of a noun. Pronouns are of different kinds: personal, interrogative, distributive, indefinite, possessive, reflexive, reciprocal, relative, demonstrative, and emphasizing. The pronouns I, me, she, her, he, him, you, we, us, it, they, and them come in the place of people, animals, or things. So they are called personal pronouns. The pronouns mine, ours, his, hers, its, theirs, and yours are used to show possession. So they are called possessive pronouns. Pronouns that are used to point out the objects which they refer to are called demonstrative pronouns. Pronouns that help to ask questions are called interrogative pronouns. A pronoun that indicates that the action of the subject reflects or turns back on the subject itself is called a reflexive pronoun. A pronoun that is used for the sake of emphasis is called an emphasizing pronoun. Pronouns that show that people or things are taken singly or in separate groups are called distributive pronouns. Pronouns that do not refer to any person in particular are called indefinite pronouns. Pronouns that denote mutual action are called reciprocal pronouns. A pronoun that relates a noun that comes before it to a group of words that follow is called a relative pronoun. So, this is all for today. I hope you understood pronouns. Take care, be good, and spread happiness. Thank you.